everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we are going to talk about my most downloaded freebie that I put out there um, because I think it's really interesting. First of all, it's great for manifestation, but it's interesting seeing some of the responses that I get, like the comments that I get around this. And it's definitely one of those topics that is, I guess, somewhat controversial. People are either open to it or they're not. And I don't really care because we're in the age of Aquarius, which is all about authenticity and sharing what is on your mind, on your heart. And that's what I'm going to do. And so this is just something that I think is interesting to play around with. And so let's get into it. We're going to talk about how you can use ChatGPT, first of all, for pretty much anything in your life. But for today, we're going to focus on manifestation. Now, you could relate this to, your morning routine. Maybe you're trying to manifest a better morning routine. Maybe you're trying to manifest getting healthy and you want to have like more of a health routine. You can use it for just about everything. Okay. And so to start out, I want to say that obviously this isn't the end all be all because one of the comments I get is like, how are you going to trust Chat GPT? Like it's just pulling information from the internet. Sometimes it can provide some information that isn't factually accurate and things like that. And that's absolutely true. The way that I look at it is this is a tool that, yes, like has scoured the internet for every book, every blog article, every TED Talk, everything that's out there, and can give me a summary of things that maybe I've missed because we go through life with our blinders on, right? Based on our experiences, our subconscious beliefs. And sometimes we miss really glaring things that are right in front of us. And so the way that I look at it is this is just an opportunity to kind of like get another perspective, to help me get clarity, to help me visualize. But at the end of the day, it's just a tool. It's just another tool. And yes, we don't need it. Absolutely. We don't need a vision board, right? But it's a tool that can help you visualize if you're feeling stuck or if you want to get a little more detailed. It's just a tool. So like people get so worked up over things like this. And I get it because believe me, like I know the terrifying side to AI and where it's headed. But I think back to like my childhood and when the internet was first becoming a thing, like I grew up in that era where it was like individuals started having computers that had the internet. And there was a big scare with that, it's going to steal your data and, there's all kinds of negative aspects to it. And that's true, right? That is true. However, I know I use it every day for good. I use it for my business. I use it in my life. I use it to communicate with people. I'm glad we have it. And I think that's the same thing with AI. There's going to be people that jump on it and get on board ahead of time and find the ways to use it for good. And then there's going to be people that resist it. And at the end of the day, like it's not going away. It's not going away. It's going to keep improving. So I'm trying to look at it as how can I use this as just another tool in my toolkit for life and, use it for things that are going to help me. So take it or leave it. But I'm going to get into some really good prompts that are super helpful for manifesting, for goal setting, for just your life in general. And if you want the list, I actually, like I said in the beginning, I created a free resource and it's literally a Google Doc so that you can copy and paste the prompt. Because I don't know about you, but I get so irritated when you see like videos of people doing prompts for ChatGPT and they'll be super, super long. And then you've got to try to like type it and you got to listen to the video again and try to type it all out. I just want to be able to copy and paste it when I need it. So that's exactly why I put it in just a simple doc that you can copy, paste, and like input your information kind of like Mad Lib style. Like you'll put in like your, specifics around your life. So, first of all, if any of you are like, what the hell is ChatGPT? Don't worry, you're not alone. This hasn't been out for that long. I just happened to learn about it as it became a thing, which God, I don't even remember. I think it was in 2023. So we're probably getting on like 2 years now. But it is a large language model, basically AI. And so these models, what they do is they scour the internet and they hold all this information and they pull from different information on the internet. And so that's why you can't take this as like the end all be all. Like if you're looking up, if you want information that's factually accurate, it can give you a lot of places to look. It'll give you YouTube videos, it'll give you studies, it'll give you links to articles, and it'll kind of summarize those things, but you don't want to take everything like as absolute, right? This is just more to brainstorm and to help you uncover some things that you might be missing. Okay. So ChatGPT is free. That's why I did the guide with this one. There's paid models as well. They do have a paid option, but you absolutely don't need that. In fact, I think my dad did the paid for a while and he was like, you're really not getting anything extra that like we would need it for right now, just an average person. So you can just make a free account if you want to do this. And they don't take your credit card information or anything like that. And then you like literally can just ask it anything. I ask it stuff for my business. Like let's say I'm writing an email. I'll copy and paste it into ChatGPT so it can clean it up, make sure there's no grammatical errors, make some suggestions, things like that. I'll use it. Like the other day, I was talking to my mom about AI stocks, and neither one of us are like big investors, we're kind of like at a more of a baseline level. And so I asked ChatGPT, hey, give me some recommendations, tell me why. And the recommendations lined up with what all the like quote unquote experts were saying online because I checked it with articles and things like that. It also gave me a lot of resources. So you can really use it for anything. You want to look up a recipe, you can ask it. You want to find a solution to a problem where you're like, I just can't figure this out and it's driving me crazy, you can ask ChatGPT. So I use it a lot. And the more you give it, the more it's going to push back. So like I was showing my mom how to use this, I was thinking more for like a health plan or a meal plan or like things like that. And it was very basic answers that she was getting back. And so I was explaining to her that that's how it is in the beginning. But you don't want to think about this as just like, I'm going to ask a basic question and it just gives a basic answer. You want to think of this as like a conversation. So if it gives you a basic answer, you can say, okay, I like number two and number three, the ideas you gave me. Can you expand on that? Can you create an actual meal plan? Can you pull recipes from the internet and put them together for me in a curated way? Like you can keep expanding on it and having a conversation with it. All right. And then lastly, and then I'll get into it, it saves these conversations. So in the left, like upper left corner, is kind of like what do you call it? Like a table of contents of all your conversations. So what I like to do is I have like a manifesting folder, a business folder, like different folders. And then when I want to ask a question that has to do with a previous conversation I had with ChatGPT, I'll just click on that conversation and keep it going. And so it'll remember the information that you give it so you don't have to constantly tell it over and over and over again, like basic things. So just keep that in mind. And obviously, like the information you put out there, you don't want to put like sensitive information that you wouldn't want anyone to have access to just because like you don't want to put stuff like that on the internet anyways. So I feel like that goes without saying. So, anyhow, oh my gosh, if you want to copy and paste the prompts, that's what I was trying to get to, and then I got derailed. Sorry about that. Go to thelawofattractiontribe.com, thelawofattractiontribe.com. And on the homepage, I have a link for it. It's like the Chat GPT prompts for manifesting everything or something like that. And you click on that and it's totally free. And you will get the doc that you can just copy and paste. So that way you don't have to like keep listening to this episode over and over to try to get the prompt right. So these are just suggestions. You can make them your own. You can change them up. Some you might like, some you might not. And I will link the resource, the link in the show notes as well. All right. So the first prompt I created was around gaining clarity. Okay. And this, I think, even if you feel like you have complete clarity on your vision, which is unusual, by the way, most people that I'm talking to are saying, I'm not really sure what I want, or they have an idea, but they get a little fuzzy when it comes to the big picture or the details. And so I think even if you feel like, hey, I'm perfectly clear on what I want to manifest, it's still a good idea to play around with this because, like I said, there's going to be blinders that you might not see. And it might bring up an area of your life that maybe subconsciously you've ignored. Like, for example, your relationship, because maybe you're in a long committed relationship and you kind of take it for granted. So it might bring up certain things that you want to focus on. And then you can also like look at each area of your life individually. And that's kind of how I set up this prompt. So the prompt goes, help me gain more clarity around what I want to manifest in my life on the topic of, and then you can input the topic. So you can say like, you can start out with like my life as a whole or the wheel of life, which will go over all the areas, or you can put in a specific topic like love or your career or financial freedom and money. You know, like you can pick a certain topic. Then you're going to say, feel free to ask me more questions to help me gain clarity on my vision. Now, this is great. If you're getting basic answers from ChatGPT, tell it that it can ask you questions and it will. And then it'll get all the information needed to give you a really solid answer. So you can say, I need some clarity around the vision for my business and where it's going because right now I feel like it's stagnant. Ask me more questions to gain clarity on my vision moving forward. Okay, so it's just like you can curate this to any area of your life, but it will help you see things that maybe you're missing because you're so close to it. All right, next is disproving limiting beliefs, fears, doubts, and worries. Now, this I think is probably the best use of it because that's what holds us back. Remember in the beginning, I said your life experiences and your subconscious beliefs are quite literally blinding you from seeing what's right in front of you. And so, you know, you want to address those at the subconscious level, which is why we use subliminals. And this is a way to basically give your subconscious evidence through examples to erase those fears and doubts. Okay. So, for example, like, let's say you have a big money goal and you don't know anyone in your life that's ever achieved that goal and it feels impossible. Your subconscious is literally going to think it's impossible. But if you can give it examples of people who actually achieved it, the subconscious is going to get that evidence and all of a sudden realize, wait a minute, here's factual information that's telling me this is possible. So now you've just erased that resistance. And sure, you're still probably going to have some doubts and fears, but now all of a sudden you know it's possible. And when your subconscious knows it's possible, you'll be amazed at how quickly it will scour your environment to find links to that opportunity now that it's possible. Okay. So one of the prompts is I have this belief. So you want to insert whatever your belief is. Help me disprove this belief by giving me examples of people who, and then insert the opposite of the belief. So people who actually did this thing and made it possible. Use real life examples, fictional characters, movies, or books to disprove this belief. So it doesn't have to be like a historically accurate character. They could quite literally make up a fictional character and it doesn't matter because your subconscious takes commands and it's not going to know this one's real, this one's not. It's just going to see examples of people who have already achieved this, and that will tell your subconscious that this is in fact possible. So I'll give you an example of what I put in there to kind of tie this all together. So I have this belief that in order to be wealthy, I have to work really hard. Help me disprove this belief by giving me examples of people who made money effortlessly, got wealthy easily, lucked into wealth, or they gained wealth in a fun way. Use real life examples, fictional characters, movies, or books to disprove this belief. And it gave me a ton. And here's the thing, like, let's say it gives you 5 or 10, you can tell it to give you even more. So you can just keep it going if you want to do that. And I, just so you know, on the free doc that I created, I put these examples in there as well so you can see like how I personally used it. Okay, another prompt, which is a follow up to that prompt. So after it gives you all this evidence that you're going to read through, and that's going to tell your subconscious that, hey, this is totally possible. The next prompt is list 20 affirmations that will help me disprove the belief listed above. So that's going to give you some really good affirmations that are curated to a belief that is holding you back in life. And I love doing this when creating custom subliminals because then it's like fine tuned to what you're experiencing. And of course, you can go in and change them, but it gives some really good, insightful ones. Okay, the next area is getting clear on your vision and visualizing it daily. So we already did getting clear on like a topic. This is more helping to paint the picture in your mind. So this is especially helpful if you're someone that really struggles with visualizing, which I hear this a lot. People say, I want to visualize, but I can't. Like I cannot draw a picture in my mind. This really helps with that. So the prompt is using the principles of the law of attraction and law of assumption, write a first person present tense story about experiencing blank. You're going to insert your specific goal. And then you're going to say the story should evoke feelings of, and then insert the feelings. And this is so important because we know when you focus on the feelings of already having it, that is what helps you quantum shift, right? So I'm going to put this in an example to make it easier to understand. So I said, using the principles of the law of attraction and law of assumption, write a first person present tense story about experiencing my first $1 million year. The money came in so easily and effortlessly. Now I have more than enough to pay off my house and take care of my parents. My kids will always be taken care of financially, and I can relax knowing it's never running out and always multiplying. I made this money by doing what I love, and this income will continue to grow. This story should evoke feelings of relief, joy, love, and gratitude. What it will spit out is like astonishing. It's like if you sat out and wrote out your dream vision, it will put that in a text for you. And so the way you can use this is to read this first thing in the morning and then every night before you go to bed. And that's going to really prime your subconscious with this vision so that you can start manifesting it. It's going to help you get really clear on this vision so that you can stop like having your mind go all over the place and you can focus on, a definitive outcome that you want. Okay, another prompt is here are my biggest dreams and goals. So you're going to list them out. Then you're going to say, write a story of how my future self has all of it already. So if you're doing the 28-day gratitude challenge with me in the Manifest It Now app, we go through the book The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. And one of the things it has you do is write out your top 10 desires list, where you write out your 10 desires that you want to manifest. So this would be great to just take that and put it into ChatGPT and say, write a story about my future self that already has all of this. And again, it'll give you a story that's going to help you visualize it. Read it first thing in the morning and just before bed. This is when your subconscious is most vulnerable. If you do it right away when you wake up and right away when you're falling asleep, you get those theta brain waves that are like so key in quantum shifting. Okay. And then a follow up prompt to that is simply, what can I do today to get there? Okay. Because what do? We have these big goals, right? And they seem so big and so far away, and it becomes overwhelming. So we don't do anything, right? Like it's such a big leap. It's like you don't even know how to get there. This breaks it down into an actionable step that you can do today to get there. So it might be something like super simple, like, journaling about it or something like that. Or it might be something a little more actionable, like you're going to go and research this subject, or you're going to go reach out to 5 people about this. So it's really interesting, but just imagine if every single day you had your vision in your mind and you had one small action step that you did that day to get closer to your goals. Imagine at the end of the year how many action steps you would have taken. So that's what ChatGPT can do, is break it down into smaller steps, and it's very good at doing that. Okay, the next is, how can I make my visualizations more vivid and emotionally charged to manifest? And then you're going to put in the specific goal you're wanting to manifest. So again, this one's really, really good if you're having trouble visualizing, if you are having trouble seeing all of the details. And that's kind of how I am. I'm very like big picture. So it's helpful for me to have a little bit of guidance on getting into the details and like the nitty gritty of all of it. All right. And then next is kind of like creative brainstorming. And this is really overall what I use ChatGPT for. Like I just use it as like, hey, let me run some ideas by you and tell me what you think. And some of the stuff it says, I'm going to be like, yeah, whatever. But then sometimes there's things where I'm like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Like that's a really good idea. So the next prompt is, I want to manifest, and then you're going to insert your goal. And then you're going to say, this is my current situation. Now explain your current scenario. And again, the more detailed you get, the more you give it, the more you're going to get back. So just keep that in mind. And then say, this is where I want to be. And then you're going to describe the outcome that you want to manifest in as much detail as possible. So really like try to get super clear on that part of it. And then you're going to say, come up with a list of ways in which I can get there in the easiest way that feels good with the least amount of resistance or stress. So this is pretty cool because our mind, we see things in like such a linear way. And again, like so many of us, we have it ingrained that success comes from doing things the hard way, hard work, hard work. Like there's just such a thing in our society about being stressed and working hard. And this can help you see something that maybe is very obvious, but you've missed it because you're conditioned to think that everything has to be hard. And it is pretty, again, it's like pretty remarkable the things it'll come up with. Now, a follow up to that prompt is, come up with a game plan to implement this idea. And then you're going to insert your favorite idea that it gives you, because it's going to give you a ton of different ideas. Take your best one that you like, say, come up with a game plan to implement this idea and outline the steps I need to take. All right. And then it'll do that. And then you can expand on that. Like, let's say step one it's kind of vague. You can be like, elaborate on step one, give me specific action items. So you really can just keep going with this. And then last but not least, what daily practices can I adopt to stay aligned with the vibration of, and then put in your specific desires. So if you're really trying to align with finding love this year, what daily practices can you adopt to stay aligned with the vibration of love? And this is cool because it's kind of helping you to find things like little things that you can implement in your morning routine or throughout the day or your evening routine that is going to help you get to the core of what you want. So those are 10 of the ChatGPT prompts. Again, you can get this by going to the lawofattractiontribe.com. It's free. I will link it in the show notes as well. And that way you can just copy and paste it. And you can use this for anything. Like I will ask it these crazy theories that I have, and I'll ask it to find facts to back it up and then find facts to disprove it, just to see like where my theories lie in the world of like right now it's quantum physics. And it's actually surprising. There's like so much more that supports this than I realized. So you can do it for anything in life. And it's just a tool, again, to help you get clear. Is it the end all be all? No. Is it what's going to help you manifest? No. Like that's up to you. You can use this to get clear on your vision. You can use this to try to really tap into the feelings and the vision of having it, but it's not going to do the work for you. Like you, at the end of the day, are the creator of your reality. This is just a tool. Just like subliminals are a tool, just like vision boards are a tool. This is just another tool to help you take it or leave it. But it is kind of fun and interesting. And I would say it's expansive. It expands your mindset, it expands your vision, it expands your awareness of things that, like I said, you're not seeing that are in your environment based on your subconscious beliefs and experiences. So hopefully that helps some of you, especially that are having trouble visualizing your goals. And go grab the worksheet so that you can just copy and paste it and let me know what comes up because I've been hearing some amazing stories, people literally in tears when they're reading their story that ChatGPT came up for them about manifesting their dream reality. So it's really cool. So keep me posted, let me know, and I'll see you back here next time.